Hey guys, it's Joe here from Style You by Joe, and I am putting together the last of my Christmas cookies. Now I still have to bake that lemon raspberry ginger shortbread that we made, but you saw me do the crinkle cookies. This is actually, oh my god, this is actually a triple ginger molasses cookie. It is once again out of the Savory Christmas magazine. Savory is the magazine that's put out by Giant, and this is under this section. I think it's called Grandma's Favorites or something like that. Oh no, just Christmas cookies. But like I said, it's a triple ginger molasses cookie. We are going to be using a half a cup of softened butter. We're going to be using a 2/3 of a cup of packed brown sugar, a tablespoon of baking soda. We're going to be using a tablespoon and a half of ground cinnamon. Now, the half is going to be with some sugar that we're going to roll this in when it's done. So that means that a whole tablespoon is going into this. Yeah, no. The whole tablespoon is in with the sugar, the half a tablespoon is in with the cookies. And it's written down, so just go out and get it. But you could also follow me too if you can follow me. So next comes a tablespoon of ground ginger, a tablespoon of regular ginger, and 2 tablespoons of chopped up candied ginger. Now, candied ginger you can get in any grocery store, and it's usually in the baking section, and it's covered with sugar, and you can use it for baking. I use it when I make my Moscow mules, That's a different subject. We need 1 whole egg. We need a 1/4 cup of dark molasses. We need a cup and a half of all-purpose flour. We need half a cup of whole wheat flour, which I just did a video for, so you want to watch that. We're going to use a cup of granulated sugar to roll the cookies in, and cooking spray. So let's get started. First, we need the half a cup of butter, which is conveniently a stick of butter. So we are just going to peel this. And throw it in. And clean our hands, because we don't want to get butter everywhere. So you just want to turn this on low, and we just want to cream it. I just want to get it soft and going around. So to that, we're going to add the brown sugar. We're going to add the baking soda. And I'm going to add my chopped candy ginger, my fresh ginger, my ground ginger, and my cinnamon. Now, when you chop the candied ginger, chop it pretty fine, because you don't want big chunks of that in your cookie, because it can be a little bit of a spicy texture, which I love. Alright, that's all creamed together. So now we're going to add our egg. And again, I always break it into a little ramekin or some other container, just so I can make sure that the egg doesn't go into the batter, because that would be a bad crunch. We're going to add our molasses now. And I know I've said it before, but for those who haven't seen the video, whenever I do molasses, honey, anything that's sticky, I always spray the whatever I'm measuring out in with some Pam spray. So 1/4 cup. And as I said before, God, I hate measuring, but when you don't measure and you bake, it doesn't get really good. So that'll just all pour in. Just want to scoop the last little bit of that in. While I have it stopped, we'll clean the beater real quick. God, I bet you that's good. Brown sugar, molasses, ginger. Not that I'd ever dream of eating raw egg and dough. Oh, no, that would be bad. Oops, lock it back in place. Just make sure that that all gets incorporated. And now we're going to add our dry ingredients. So here's the flour and the whole wheat flour. And I always use a whisk in this just to make sure that it gets incorporated before I incorporate it. Sounds a little crazy, but you know, it's me. And you just want to add this a little bit at a time to make sure that it really gets incorporated. And of course, don't have it on high or else you'll be dusted with flour everywhere. Not in a good way. So our oven is set at 350 and we're going to bake these for 10 minutes. You want to make sure that you have a cooling rack set up. Again, I have my great-grandparent, my great-grandmother, my great-grandmother's baking tray. Brought me luck with the spicy chocolate crinkle, so I'm hoping it brings me luck with this. Now it said if it gets to a point where it doesn't incorporate with this, you need to mix it by hand, which I'm trying to do it in little batters or little batches, so I don't have to do it by hand. Why not? I have an electric mixer. And you can really smell the cinnamon and the ginger and everything that's in it, and you can't see it, but Emma is trying to figure out where the smell is coming from, and she can't quite find that either. God, I can really smell the pungency of the molasses, which I love. Now, for those of you who didn't watch my video, my baking tutorial on whole wheat flour, I'm using whole wheat flour in here for 2 reasons, I believe. One is it adds a nutty flavor, and whole wheat flour is more flavorful than regular flour. But also, it's going to add a coarseness and a heavy texture to the cookie that it wouldn't normally have if it was just regular white flour. And in goes the last of our flours. So I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to unlock it. I'm going to scrape all of this down. God, it smells wonderful. I agree with Rachel Ray. We should all have smell-o-vision as well as television. I'm sure it's on the way. Maybe her and Oprah will get together and invent that. Sounds good to me. Lock it in place. And I'm just going to turn it on high to make sure that everything gets incorporated. So I'm going to walk off camera. Now, here is the sugar and cinnamon that we will roll this in. And the reason that I'm doing that is because if you didn't watch the video, anytime you work with whole wheat flour, because it still has the germ on it, it takes a little bit longer for the moisture to penetrate it. So we're actually going to let this set 10 minutes before baking. But I have out my handy dandy scooper, scoop it in, roll in the sugar, put it in. Like I said, we're going to bake it for 10 minutes until it rises. Folks, this is from the non-baker. You can do this. Happy holidays. I'll talk to you soon.